Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel and to another reaction video. Today we are reacting to Yuri on Ice episode 7. Okay, I know it's been a minute. I know it's taken me forever. For reference, I watched episode 6 before I left for Japan. It's been about a month and a half since I watched episode 6. I remember what happened. It was the short program at Cup of China, but I'm like very far removed. I had some equipment issues and changes. I had some editing issues and changes, but I am here. I am back, I promise, and so is my cat, who's been really into jumping on top of my chair lately, and it's been a great time. But before we get into today's episode, I first just have to say, I know a lot of you who watch my Yuri on Ice reactions are probably here from the medalist reactions, and look at what I found while I was in Japan! We got Inori, we got Rio, we got SKATER, and we have Hikaru-chan. Okay, I literally walked into an Animate and I hadn't seen any of these yet, and I had been in Japan for probably, at this point I was near the end of my trip. It had been like 3 weeks since I had gotten there and I had not seen any medalist merch. I was already kind of sad because there was a pop-up shop in Tokyo that I was going to go to actually right before we went to World Team Trophy, but we ended up not being able to because of scheduling. And so I was already sad, and it was literally closing that day, so I had no other opportunities to go to it. This was when we were in Osaka, I think. I saw medalist in the Animate. I literally just went, in my basket, in my basket, in my basket. 10,000 yen later, which is roughly 70 USD. I got these. I also got some blind bags that I already opened. If you want to check out my video where I opened them, I'll put it right here, I think. But anyway, you might not have watched my medalist reactions, but I got my medalist stuff and I'm very, very happy. So anyway, that's that. But if this is your first time with the channel and that was your first time introducing yourself to the madness that is my channel, hello, hi, my name is Hannah and I am a competitive figure skater. I began skating at the age of 6 years old and competed all the way up until 2019, and I just this year have decided to start to get back into it. So I like to say I know a thing or two about skating. We reacted to medalist, we had a ton of fun. Now we're reacting to Yuri on Ice. I always like to put out the disclaimer, this is not my first time watching Yuri on Ice. It is actually my second time, as this was actually my very first anime. I watched it when it was coming out in 2016, but I watched it because I was very much in the skating world at that time, like my entire life, everything. I was like eat, sleep, breathe, figure skating, so everyone was talking about Yuri on Ice. So I decided to start watching it, but I was not an anime fan at the time. So this is my first time revisiting the show. Since then, you can see my cat is literally sitting right here. So anyway, I'm revisiting the series through the eyes of a figure skater. This is not a regular reaction. I'm going to be pausing. I'm going to be talking about the realism within the show when it comes to figure skating. That's what these are all about. I'm not just gonna go and woo the whole time. I'm gonna be like actually talking through what's happening and how realistic it is. So with that out of the way, I remember that last time we did Cup of China short program. This time it's gonna be the free skate. I don't remember what happened. I'm very much looking forward to diving in, but before we do, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts on today's video. Also, if you're interested in following me on social media, I'm at Hannah Malay on Instagram and TikTok, and at lookingnerdy on X. Okay, now we can watch the episode. Okay. I like the recap every time to remind us what he's up to. He's in first place! I don't remember what's gonna happen from here. Oh no. Yeah. Sleep is so important. Just on top of him. Yeah, sleeping is so important because if you don't have enough sleep, your legs are the first things to feel it. They are so important. So if your legs are shaky and you're tired, you're screwed. All right. I don't remember what's gonna happen here. Ugh. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Yeah, he's not the type of skater that it'll work where like you can have a bad warm-up and be fine. He needs a good warm-up. That is super common. Coaches will like force you into music that you maybe don't want to skate to. I've always disagreed with that. Let the skaters skate to something that they love and adore. Unless they like have really bad, just like, oh, this won't work as skating music. Triple flip, triple tap. Oh. Yuri has a pretty big point gap too, going into the free skate. But that point gap can falter very quickly if he were to like fall apart. He has to skate. He has room for like 1 or 2 mistakes, small mistakes. Not many men do a standalone double axel. It's just not worth enough points. I mean, you still did pretty good. You just fell on 1 jump, so you never know what can happen. I can't remember what place he came in at his first one, though. Team 48 is... Oh, this is the guy that... Oh, man. Okay. Ooh. Quadlet's second most difficult quad attempted in competition. It's worth a lot of points. Oh my god, Yuri. When you're so nervous too, like, it's so hard to skate well. Your legs are shaky. Axel, half loop, triple sound. He's pretty far behind Yuri, though. It is true. There's a lot of, like, when you're a younger skater looking up to the older skaters. I don't know how much it happens at, like, this level, though. Because everyone's competing against each other. Like, I always looked up to skaters, but I was never at this level, so it was just, like, didn't really matter. Yeah, that was very, very good. All right, the competition's on. I don't want to pause it because I'm just like... Yeah, 283. That's a good... Yeah. What is his free skate score? It's not telling me what his free skate score is. That's annoying. But I think he got around 200 points for that. Because his short program was in the 80... Maybe I'm misremembering. Oh, it's from the same movie? Same series? Gosh. I shouldn't wait a month and a half in between recording. Well, I had no choice. Yeah, but the guy before him just did a perfectly clean program with quads. Even if... Yeah. Even if he goes clean, if he doesn't have quads, he has no shot. The reason for that, and apologies if I've talked about this before, because again, I will remind everyone, it's been a month and a half since I watched the show, but when it comes to quads, they are worth way more points than triples, but the reason that some people go out there and either don't attempt them or only do 1 or 2 is because they're going for a clean performance. Because with the added level of difficulty of quads, the level or the opportunity of a fall or a pop or something bad happening goes up as well. So it's like higher risk, higher reward, right? So a lot of skaters have to make that decision. Are they going to go for it and possibly fall and lose points that way? Or are they going to play it safe and skate clean? Well, in his case, the guy before him, Chris, had 3 quads, one of them being a quadlets, which is the most difficult quad before a quad axle, which only one skater in the world has ever successfully landed in competition. And that's now, like he's doing it now. It's not, this is almost 10 years old, right? But he did 3 quads and he did his program perfectly. So in theory, Pitchlet, he has no shot. If he doesn't have quads, even if he skates perfectly clean, the component scores, even if he scores higher than Chris, will not make up for the higher technical base value that Chris had, because component scores max out at 100 while your technical score doesn't technically max out. There's not really a ceiling outside of you do all of the most difficult jumps available to you and you skate it perfectly clean. There's still a lot of room for change because of creative execution and everything. Anyway, so he unfortunately has no chance. I don't think he had that much of a lead over Chris either. So Chris has already made up for whatever lead he had over him. It's a game of calculations, but the people who don't put out quads are always at a disadvantage as quads get more and more common and clean. Oh, he has a quad. Well, pretend I didn't say anything. He has a quad and it's after the halfway point, so it's worth more points. It's got a 10% bonus. Okay, that's 2 quads. Wow, I didn't need a pause. Because now we're looking at these quads have a 10% bonus and he's doing it well, so. A triple flip, single loop, double flip. That's not possible. Triple flip, single loop, double flip. Triple flip. Did he change? That's not a real jump. That is not, you literally can't put that in combo. If it were a half loop, then yeah. But you cannot, because if they had made it look like a half loop, I would believe it, but they're making it look, yeah, that's not a real jump. Okay, they made it, I thought maybe they were just, the subtitles were wrong, and well, they're not, because I can hear it. It's katakana, so it's single flip, right? He did a triple flip. Now, you can do a what they called a half loop at the time. It's called an Euler now. And what that is it takes off like a loop jump, but you only rotate half and you land on your other foot, because in this case, he is right-handed. He's spinning counterclockwise. He always lands on his right foot. When you are a skater, you always land on the same foot. The purpose of a half loop is that it's not like a regular jump. It's something completely different. It's a transitional jump. So you do a half rotation and you switch feet so you can do a saukow or a flip off of it, because a saukow and a flip require your right foot to be in the air, whether that be to just push through for a saukow or to pick and launch you on a flip. There is no scientific way that you can do a triple flip, do a single loop, because you're still landing on your right foot if it's a single loop, not a half loop. So you're on your right foot. You cannot then change feet and pick. That's not like legal within the scoring system. This show's been doing very good, but there's no way that that is a legal jumping pass. Yeah, it's not possible. The only thing I've seen people do is they do like, there's one skater here in America, she does a double axel. On her right foot, she then changes direction and does a double sout. That is allowed because she's not changing feet. In order for you to change feet in a jump combo, the half loop is the only way you can do that because it's an actual jump. It has to be counted as a jump. You cannot just switch feet. Yeah, that's not a real jump. Anyway. Oh well. I've already said this show is not as realistic as Medalist, so, you know. It is what it is. But he did the 2 quads after the halfway mark. So he might... I don't remember how big of a point difference he had over Chris, though. Stop watching, Yuri. So he has to win gold in order... Yeah, if he came 4th... He has to win this to have any shot, and even then, that 4th place might... He would be on the cusp, even if he won this. He has a higher chance. He just needs to stay where he's at or get higher to go to the Grand Prix final. It is a well-known fact. You should... Ooh. He popped his axle. You cannot watch the skaters prior to you skating. That's like something that is universal. It messes with you mentally in any type of way. You either become cocky or you get freaked out. Oh. Way to put more pressure on him. That's not what he wanted. Yeah, that's not what he needed. Victor's still very much learning as a coach. You still got a lot to learn as a coach. Yeah. The coach needs to, in a time of a skater struggling with their confidence, the coach has to prove or show that they have more confidence in the skater. Because if the coach doesn't have confidence in their skater, then the skater sure as hell isn't. So Yuri is right. Like, he needs to see Victor have more confidence in him than he does in himself right now. That's the coach's job. So yeah, Victor has much to learn as a coach. Oof. Well, this changes things. Yeah, you can't go to... He just lost his chance. Because he's in 6th. And he has 2 skaters to go that were ahead of him. Oh, it's this guy. Anya! Wow, he really just said, "Aishiteru." Dang. Dang. Oh. Well. Yeah, get down. Oh boy. It's so funny because somehow this free skate is like perfectly depicting what actually happens in men's figure skating today. It is literally just a mess. You'll have skaters out there making mistakes and falling apart. You'll have skaters out there skating perfectly clean. And men's skating is known for having, like, wherever you were at the short program, it can change so much. So much. Just at Worlds last year, not this year, but the year before that, there was a skater who was in like 19th after the short program and ended up in 3rd. Like, he won the bronze medal because of how crazy it gets. Makes for a very interesting event, that's for sure. All right. Okay. Come on, Yuri. Oh, God. we go. Sometimes you gotta get those emotions out. You do kind of have to, like, empty your brain a little bit when you skate, too, I feel like. I feel like every time I do, I skate better. Here we go. He has a very big lead over the people who are in first, too. Because it goes, I can't remember his name, Pitchlet? And then Chris, and they were both, like, they were 6th and 5th. Which gives him more room for error. It's hard to describe all the math of it all without, like, getting so detailed. Quad sound. The sound effects they use for, like, sow cow, and loop is not great. The sound effect they use makes it sound like a toe jump. Edge jumps and toe jumps sound different because they launch differently. I'm getting real nitpicky here again. I warned y'all. You all know. It's okay. He has plenty of room for small errors like that. Oh. See, that was obviously a half loop that they did. I'm trying to figure out what they did with that one guy. I think that might have just been an animation error, honestly. Because that was an obvious half loop, but they called it a single loop. I don't freaking know, man. I just need to let it go, probably, but the reason I'm reacting to this is to not let that kind of stuff go, so. Gosh. Quad flip. Worth a lot more points than a toe. So he probably, honestly, he had to step out on a fall. Yeah, doing a quad at the end, let alone a flip, which is the one below Lutz. It's like crazy. Step out and a fall, but more difficult. I'm not sure. I thought this happened at the end of the show. I'm getting my timelines mixed up. Just... Oh, so they still gave it to him. Okay. Yeah, he's in a good position still to go to the Grand Prix final. But he's up against him, so... But even, like, 2 silver medals is enough. Okay. All right. So I'm surprised. I would really have to break things down, but Pitchlet got... He did 2 quads. They were both after the halfway mark, and he was perfectly clean. Part of the reason I'm not remembering is because I'm not remembering the short program scores, but if I'm remembering correctly, Yuri had like a 15-point gap over Pitchlet. So personally, I think it still should have been Yuri's to win, just based off of the level of difficulty of his program. Yes, he made 2 mistakes. He had the step out on the axle, and then he had the fall on the final quad flip. But with his gap that he had after the short program, plus his grade of execution and component scores on everything else, plus his higher base value, I think he still should have won that. And it's hard because they're not telling me the scores either. So personally, I think Yuri should have still won that just based off of how the scoring system is. But, you know, we got to add to the dramatics because now that Pitchlet won the gold, he will now go to the final. He's still going to be on the bubble, but more than likely will go because you've got first place, which is worth 15 points. You got fourth place, which is worth 9 points. So that's 24 points. That should be enough to go to the Grand Prix final. So anyway, Victor and Yuri just need to go, like they need to actually kiss and just go be happy together. I could have sworn that moment at the end there when he jumped out there and it's like he kissed him. I could have sworn that was at the end of the season finale. But it's been so long. Anyway, that's episode 7. So we have the silver medal. We're going to Ross Telecom up against Yurio. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. I don't remember, so I'm looking forward to it. But that is going to be it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, your thoughts. Also, if you're interested in getting my reactions early and unedited, you can join my Patreon, which is linked in the description. Not only will I be posting my Yuri on Ice reactions early and unedited there, I'm also going to have some Patreon exclusives coming up. Those will be Dandadan and Sakamoto Days. Those will only be released to Patreon, so if you're interested in joining me on that, that will start in July, so you definitely want to check it out in the description. But with that, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you all next week, I promise. Mata ne!